All right, so today's math lesson is 4.7, part 1. This lesson has 2 parts. Our math goal is to see the shift patterns when we have a decimal as a multiplier. So write down what you know about multiplying with decimals and then come back to me. All right, so let's review a little bit. So remember that we're using place value and we're using decimals. So we're going to be using this side of the place value chart because this is where our decimals are at. Remember, tenths is 0.1 or 1 over 10, hundredths 0.01 or 1 over 100, thousands 0.001 or 1 over 1,000. And remember that it's getting smaller. It's decreasing as we move from the chart from left to right. As we're going to the right, our product is going to be decreasing, okay? So remember that as we look at our first problem. Okay, let's look at our first problem. Leon earns $213 a month. The money is shown here. He will save some money every month. So here's his $213. There's our decimal. So basically it's 1 times 213, right? Which is 213. But what if he wants to save 1/10 of his earnings? 1/10 of his earnings of something, remember, means multiplication. So he wants to save 1/10 of his earnings. How much will he save each month? What happens to the value of each bill and digit? Do the digits, are they going to shift to the left or the right? And how many places are they going to shift? So think about it. We're multiplying by 1/10, which is the same thing as 1 over 10. Remember when we multiplied fractions, remember what happened, right? You're taking a part of a part. So you're taking part of the 213. So what do you think is going to happen? Think about it and then come back to me and I'm going to show you what happens. Okay, so I put my 213 in my place value chart and it's becoming 1/10, right? So that means it's decreasing. It's not increasing, right? It's going to decrease. Otherwise, if it was increasing, it would be 10 times bigger, but it's 1/10, so it's decreasing. So it means all the digits are going to shift because I want to get it smaller. So the 3 is going to shift here. So that's where my 3 is going to be. My 1 is going to shift once here, so that's where the 1's going to be. And the 2 is going to make 1 shift also, so it's going to be here. So my new value is $21.30, right? Or 21 and 3/10. So what happened? So did it increase or decrease? So hopefully you said that it decreased, right? And so it decreased. So it's now $21.30. And what happened to each bill? They decreased by 1/10. They got 1/10 smaller. And how many shifts? We went to the right, right? Because that's how it gets smaller. And how many places did we shift? Oh, it should be 1 place, not 2 places. All right, there we go. They shifted 1 place, right? Because it was 1/10. So 1/10, 1 place value shifts to 1. So let's see what happens on the next problem. Okay, I still have my 213, but now it says he saves 1/100th of his earnings. How much money will he save each month? 1/100th. What happens to the value of each digit and bill? Do the digits shift left or right? And how many places does each digit shift? So we have 1/100th. So how many places in 1/100th? 2, right? So they're going to shift over 2. And are they going to shift to the left or the right? It's decreasing, so they're going to shift to the right. Good job. So let's take a look. Okay, so now because it's 100, they shifted. It's going to be $2.13. What happens to the value of each bill? They get 1/100th times smaller, and they shifted to the right 2 places. And so let me show you that. Okay, so in essence, this is what I have. I have 213 times 1/100th. So think of this. Remember, this is the same thing as 1 over 100. right? If you multiply by that, you know it's going to get smaller. It's 100. You have two place values, so everything's going to shift 2. So the 3 is going to shift 1, 2. The 3 is going to go here. The 1's going to shift 1, 2. The 1's going to go there. And the 2, 1, 2 shifted twice. So it's $2.13. 2 and 13 hundredths, right? That's what it looks like on the place value chart. Okay, let's look at some other examples. Okay, so 24 times 1, 24 times 1/10, 24 times 100th. So think about it, right? 24 times 1, I think we all know what that is, right? 24 times 1 is what? It's 24, right? Okay, so 24 times 1/10, what's going to happen to the digits? They're going to shift, right? How many places? One place to the right. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on the place value chart, but I'm also going to show you a shortcut to this, okay? So you don't have to use a place value chart all the time. All right, so here's my place value chart, and I put my 24 in there where it belongs, and I need to multiply it by 1/10, which is the same thing as 1/10, so I know it's going to get smaller, right? So I know that they're all going to shift over one place because I have 1, 0, one place. So the 4 is going to shift here. It's going to go there. And the 2 is going to go there. So it's going to become 2.4. So I'll go back to my other slide and put it in there. Okay, so I had 24 times 1 is 24. 24 times 1/10 was 2.4. Now let's do 24 times 100. So how many shifts? 2, right? To the right. So let's see what that looks like on the place value chart. Okay, so I went ahead and I put my 24 times 100. Remember, it's 1/100, so it's going to shift 2 places. There's 2 places after the decimal. So the 4 is going to shift 2 places. 1, 2. It's going to go there. The 2 is going to shift 2 places. 1, 2. It's going to go there. So what's my answer? 2400. So I'm going to go put it back on the other one so you can see. Okay, so let's take a look. So I put my answer here. Look what's happening here. 24 times 1, just simply 24. 24 times 1/10, they shifted over one place. 24 times 100, they shifted over 2 places. So do you see a shortcut yet of how we can do these without using the place value chart? Think about it. Look at the pattern. See if you notice a pattern. So what's happening to the numbers, right? They're decreasing. Hopefully you said they're decreasing. So let me show you a shortcut, okay? So 24 times 1, just simply 24, right? I noticed 24 times 1/10 and moved over one place, right? So this is what you can do. You can add your decimal at the end of the number. You see one shift here, so you're just going to move it over one shift. And notice what you get. Do you get 2.4? Yep. Notice this one. 1, 2 numbers after the decimal. So that tells me there's going to be 2 shifts. I'm going to put my decimal at the end of the number. You always put the decimal at the end of the number. And I'm going to do 2 shifts. 1, 2. Was there 2 shifts? Is it the same? Yep, it's in the same place. So that's the shortcut. You don't have to use the place value chart all the time. You can just see, oh, 1 place value, so I'm going to move it over 1. 1, 2 place values after the decimal, so I'm going to move it over twice because I want to make it smaller because I'm multiplying by tenths and hundredths. Okay, so you ready to try some? Okay, go ahead and try 689 times 1, 689 times 1/10, 689 times 100th. If you need to use your place value chart to see what's happening, go ahead and do that. If not, if you got the trick, go ahead and use the trick and then come back to me and then we'll go over the answers. Okay, so hopefully you got 689 times 1, right? It's just 689. 609 times 1/10, there's one number after the decimal, so that means you add a decimal and you shift it once, and that gives you the 68.9. 689 times 100, 1, 2 place values after the decimal, put my decimal 1, 2 shifts, 6.89, And I'm going to show you on the place value chart just to show you that those are the same answers. Okay, so I went ahead and wrote it down, 689 times 1/10. 1/10, that means one place value movement, right? So the 9 shifts here. Then the 8 shifts here, 1 over, and then the 6 shifts here. And that's my 68.9 that I got for my second one when I multiply it by 1/10. Now let's see what happens when we multiply it by 100th. Okay, so now I wrote 689 times 100th. So 2 place values, so that means 2 shifts. So the 9 is going to shift to 1, 2. The 9 is going to shift there. The 8 is going to shift to 1, 2. It's going to shift there. The 6 is going to shift to 1, 2. It's going to shift there. And that's my 6 and 89 hundredths. Okay? All right, try some more. 546 times 1, 546 times 1/10, and 546 times 100th. So hopefully by now you don't need to use the place value chart, but if you do, so you can see the movements, go ahead and use it. If not, use the shortcut method and then come back to me. Okay, so hopefully you got 546 times 1 is 546. 546 times 1/10 is 54.6. One place value, so that means add a decimal. One place value, 546. 546 times 100th. 1, 2 place values after the decimal, so it's going to shift over 1, 2, 500 and, no, not 500, sorry, 5 and 46 hundredths, okay? So I'm going to show you really quick on the place value charts just so you see it, and then we'll be done. Okay, so I wrote my 546 times 1/10, 1/10, 1 shift. So 1 shift there, 6 will go there, 1 shift, 4 will go there, 1 shift, the 5 will go there. My 54 and 6/10. Okay, here's my 546 and times 100th. So 2 shifts, right? 2 digits after the decimal, 2 shifts, 1, 2, the 6 goes there, 1, 2, the 4 goes there, 1, 2, the 5 goes there, 5 and 46 hundredths. All right, so write down what you learned today. Proof of learning by solving a problem. So go ahead and multiply a whole number times either a 10th or a 100th. You can even do a thousandths, right? And then a reflection or question if you have one. All right, have a good day.